UFC 290 International Fight Week, and I'm joined with the one and only Joaquin Buckley.
Newmansa in the building. Y'all already know what the vibes is, bro. Hey, man, what's the word?
I'm asking you. Hey guys, welcome back to Smoke MMA. Today, I'm joined with one of the biggest guests this channel has ever seen. The man, you know him, you love him, the one, the only, Joaquin Buckley. How are we doing today, Mr. Buckley?
What's up? What's up? I like the name too. Big Smoke. Let's get it,
Oh
That's
shit.
what we're looking
So,
for.
how we feeling? We're about a week out from your fight against Wonderboy. What are the feels like? How's training camp been? Just walk me through it.
Nah, I appreciate you. The fight camp, man, it's been real interesting because this has been the biggest fight of my career. But right now I've been doing my own thing because
Yeah,
I've been back in St. Louis. So we haven't been training in Michigan, so I haven't had my same coaches around, obviously, putting a program
yeah.
together for me. So really I've been doing it on my own, really kind of figuring
Mhm.
things out. But I feel like for me, I know exactly what's best for not just my career, but just how I perform.
Mhm.
And I really feel like, just with that being said, it's just, it put me in a position where I had to find the help that was in my local area, So
Yeah.
I brought in a lot of guys that was, whether that's from the past, like my boy Edric Dillard, he's actually gonna be in my corner. He was in my corner for the Ruza Boyev fight. My boxing coach, Reggie Thompson, and I got a couple other people that have helped me out in this fight camp. So, everything was just very personalized, man, especially when it came back to coming home. So, this has been a very special camp. I can definitely say that.
That's awesome. Like the home feeling. Speaking of like that home feeling, your last fight against Ruzaboyev, which you mentioned, was at home in St. Louis.
That,
Co-main event on home turf. What was
yeah.
it like? What was it like to perform in front of that home crowd?
It was something that we haven't felt in a long time. The last
Yeah,
time I fought in St. Louis was back in 2017 or 2018 for Bellator.
yeah,
And that fight actually didn't go my way. Unfortunately, I had lost to this guy named Logan Storley, but I was just eager to come back and fight at home. But unfortunately, like circumstances had happened where I couldn't find a fight. And
yeah.
and especially when I did find a fight, it was located in other areas. So once I got
Mhm.
signed to the UFC, I was so big because the UFC hasn't came to St. Louis in a very long time. So I was just so eager to like kind of push my name and just push myself as a fighter to really get the UFC to be like, all right, we got a market here, man. So luckily UFC had came back to St. Louis. They put me on the card and they allowed me to show out in front of my hometown. And we went crazy, and it got them talking like they want to come back again. So let's get it.
Oh yeah, it was a great fight, back and forth battle. But to even
Yeah,
get that fight was a battle in itself. You were going to press conferences. You were screaming for Dana and Hunter to book you that fight. What went on
yeah.
behind the
That's the
scenes to
hustle.
get that one?
I mean, that's the hustle, right? You know what I mean? You can't spell STL without you can't spell hustle without STL. So my
Mhm.
biggest thing is when I went out there to Vegas, I knew that once I got that win over Vicente Luque that I wanted to fight in St. Louis. That was the whole, thing. Like even though I took this last minute fight against Vicente Luque, I knew that the capabilities of me beating him and as long as my body was good, I was like, bro, I want to hop back out there.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, they were saying that if I take that last minute fight with Vicente, more likely they couldn't book me for the fight in St. Louis because it'd be too short of a notice and too,
yeah,
back to back. So I said, forget that, So once I beat Vicente Luque, I headed out to Vegas, did my thing, did my promo, did all my videos and stuff like that. And, a lot of
yeah,
people were behind me. And once I, hopped on that mic at UFC 300 to speak to Dana, what I'm saying? He did his little thing,
yeah,
he read over, but I feel like he really respected me for, really kind of hunting them down and really like speaking, what I'm saying, exactly about what I
yeah.
want, what I'm saying? So they gave me an opportunity and they heard me, so they blessed me with that fight. So, I'm glad I did what I did because now it puts me in a position where I'm at right now, where you see where I'm about to fight Wonderboy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of, like going a little bit back now to Wonderboy is kind of a more of a dangerous opponent, a little bit of a different style than Ruzaboyev. You said that this camp has been a lot more personalized to yourself. What have
Yeah.
you done to like almost train for now this complete opposite style, this one of a kind kickboxer?
I done a multitude of things.
Mhm.
Uh, Even though I'm out of Michigan, that was my full camps and where I used to train.
Yeah.
I didn't have the pleasure of going wherever I need to go in order to, to get the not just information, but get the body types that was needed. So yeah, even though I'm out of St. Louis right now, currently I had went to Austin, Texas for a short time, you know what I mean, to tighten up some tools and because I plan on going out there in that fight and I'm not really worried about what Wonderboy does because he gonna do what he do. I need to be
Yeah.
concerned about what I do, right?
Hmm.
Because when fighters start to concern themselves about what the other person is going to do, they allow them to play a part of their game. I'm just going
Yeah.
to implement my game and be the best version of myself. And now Wonderboy has to deal with what I bring. That makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I went down to Austin, Texas, man, to go train with the B team. And you already know they on fire right now with
Hmm.
Craig Jones doing what he doing with having this tournament. Nicky Rod just won $1 million, and his little brother just got silver in ADCC. So I feel like for me, I was working with some of the best guys in the world, right?
Yeah.
In their field and what they do best. And I feel like with that being said, it's just like, that had kind of rubbed off on me. And I was able to, learn a lot of good different techniques, man, that I can bring into the cage that I feel like Wonderboy is definitely going to have a lot of problems with.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Now, I'm sure you have a vision for like how the fight's gonna go. Assuming that fight goes the way you have planned, who do you want next? You're gonna get on the mic. You're gonna be with Joe Rogan. Who are you gonna call
Yeah.
for?
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. And that's the thing, man. I gotta hold it, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is I don't want to speak too soon and speak too
Hmm.
lightly because the only name that I need to be talking about right now is Wonderboy, right? Stephen
Oh yeah.
Thompson. He's the most important person right now because he's the guy that's going to be standing right in front of me. And he is the person that's going to try to, stop all my plans and
Yeah.
ruin everything. So right now, my main focus is on this man, but I do have a name prepared afterwards. And it ain't Conor McGregor. It's not Conor McGregor, I promise you.
Not this
So,
time.
nah, not
Well,
this time.
but
Yeah.
so that tunnel vision, that's got to be a lot of mental training. But a lot of people seem to only focus on physical training. How do you prepare yourself mentally going into the fights?
Just visualize, right? I
Hmm.
write down a lot of things. I got a notebook inside, but I just write down not just my game plan of what I want to do, but how I want to feel in that fight,
Yeah.
right? A lot of guys, even myself, I'm not gonna say, them personally, but for me, I felt like, I was kind of stressing because I was kind of like on my own, or at least I thought I was on my own. But
Yeah.
it wasn't until I actually reached out and asked for help, right?
Hmm.
I need people for this situation or whatever I got going on. And people actually was willing to come out and help me out. And that's all I needed. You know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
kind of put the stress on myself and I kind of just calm myself down. And I just realized, I'm really in a place where always wanted to be. Like,
Yeah.
I held a lot of gratitude then, you know what I'm saying? So I had to change my attitude. So I feel like in a situation when it comes to mental, it's just remembering like you worked for this, right?
Hmm.
You asked for this, you prayed for it, and now that you have it here, like there's nothing to be stressed about. You know what I mean? Just be grateful for what you got right now, and just go after everything that you worked for. So I feel
Hmm.
like in the situation where I'm at right now, yet again, we building. Yet again, I see the solid foundation. This is something that I built with my brother Edric Dillard.
Yeah.
And what this means is like you got to have a foundation up under you whenever you're trying to build up something great. Because if you
Hmm.
don't have a solid foundation, the ones that's around you, everything that you build can just come crumbling down, and you don't want that, right? So
Yeah.
I've been building up brick by brick, you know what I'm saying, slowly but surely. But I feel like the process I've been going on is kind of unique in itself, and that's exactly why I am where I am because of that, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of fighters have not done what I've done only because they have always relied on certain people in order to get where they are. For me, I
Hmm.
had to rely on myself, but also find the people that I feel like I needed the help from. So
Yeah. So do you feel like you want to build like because throughout your career you've built that foundation, you've paid your dues, and now are you finally like reaping the benefits from what you've built that work for?
yeah, yeah. I mean, we ain't reap too many benefits, but it's
No,
like
you know what I
it's like
mean.
it's like being able to like
Yeah.
like I said before, when you go after something and when you speak about it, right, it usually comes back to you. That's how the universe works.
Yeah.
And I feel like, with that being said, everything I've been asking for, I've been getting. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I feel
Hmm.
blessed and I'm very grateful for that. And, for that being said, with me asking for Wonder Boy and getting that fight, this is something that I've asked for and I prepared myself for.
Hmm.
So what am I stressing about? Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, it's just like, a lot of guys would find themselves in the situation that, when they fight Wonderboy, like I said, they look at what he does all the time. Just go
Hmm.
out there and implement your game plan and see how he deals with that instead of figuring out, okay, how can I deal with his body type? How can I deal with his
Yeah.
karate style? I'm not gonna be able to change that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna become a karate expert and learn, you know what I'm saying, Kyokushin
Yeah.
karate and all this other stuff. I understand what he does well and what he likes to do. But my
Yeah.
thing is that he also, besides that point, and sorry, it's just like as much as it's difficult to try to find the training partners that train like him or fight like him, it's
Hmm.
gonna be very difficult to find somebody to implement what I do as well. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's something that he also has to deal. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. He's not training like that to figure out how to deal with me. He's just training his best version himself, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm doing that same thing, and then we just gonna meet in the cage and see which version is better.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes
It's
sense?
just the work. It's all about the hard work. And whoever works
Yes.
harder, this sport never lies. The work that goes in is the work that comes out. You'll see the results. And I know no one's
Exactly.
working harder than my boy Buckley.
Nah, nah,
So,
nah, nah, man. We out here in the mountains right now in the Utah. So yeah, so
yeah.
we been doing something. So when I first came out here on Monday, we got our first workout in.
Hmm.
And we did hill sprints, right? And
Yeah.
I think he's above, just 6,000 feet in elevation. We could have went up higher, but I just wanted to, test myself real quick because we're only fighting in like 4,000 feet of
Yeah.
elevation at the Delta Center. So went about 6,000 feet in elevation, and I was planning on doing 10 hill sprints. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit this good 10.
Yeah.
I could only get to 6. I can't even lie to you. My ass cheeks were hurt, my legs was burning, and everything of that nature. But it's funny how your body is so quick to adapt.
Hmm.
So now today I did it again. I was able to hit 8, but I didn't have the same issues before. And then on Friday we're gonna plan on hitting that 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That you actually beat me to my next question. I was going to ask how you're like building to prepare for fighting in Utah at this elevation, but you're doing the hill sprints. You're there a little early. You're just
Yeah,
getting
yeah. So
adjusted.
it was just getting adjusted. This is the last, if you would say, quote unquote, hard week, and then
Yeah.
fight week is just easy, just to settle down and just chill, because all the hard work has been done throughout this whole camp. For the last, I say, 2-3 months, whatever it's been. You know what I'm saying? However long I know, I had this fight with Wonderboy. I feel like all the hard work has already been prepared, and I feel like that last week is just all mental and just
Yeah.
focusing on the game plan. Yeah.
Yeah. So looking back at throughout your career, you've had a lot of highlights, a lot of the ups and downs. And now recently we've seen you move down to welterweight. Now, seeing all the success you've had at welterweight, now being ranked, now fighting against Wonderboy, top 10, big spot on cards, do you wish you ever moved down sooner?
Nah, not at all. Because being at middleweight prepared me for the transition down to welterweight.
Hmm.
When I was at middleweight, fighting, bigger guys and, fighting, I mean, not even just bigger, just, uh, some of the guys that I fought, not going to speak, but they were good too,
Yeah.
like Nasruddin, Chris Curtis, Antonio Arroyo, like, these were some highly, athletic guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could move great, even though they was big, they're very athletic, man, and very powerful. But
Hmm.
that being said, with me being able to deal with some of those things within the cage, and me having to go up against such so much resistance because of their size, I feel
Yeah.
like, now I kind of dialed down that resistance, and as soon as I went down to 170, I feel like now I'm on a more of a leveled playing field, so it's a lot more
Hmm.
fair. The only thing I think is the difference, and I put myself above, is that I feel like my skill sets and what I'm capable of doing kind of surpasses everybody in the welterweight division, So whether
Hmm.
that comes from the striking, whether that goes with the wrestling, whether that goes with the conditioning, whether that goes with the speed, strength, I feel like, man, I just check out all the boxes, So I don't
Hmm.
think there's a lot of guys that can compete with me just on an athletic basis and on a skill basis.
I gotcha. Now, my last
Yeah.
question for you is one I kind of have to ask here. Back in Fight Island, you hit one of the biggest highlight reel KOs of all time. After it happened, what was going through your head? Like, did you immediately know, like, oh, I'm about to go viral? Did you know everything that was going to
Uh,
happen? Or did you just hit that and you were just like, damn, I just knocked him out?
No, yeah, yeah, that exactly right there. I was just happy that I got a win because
Hmm.
that was my second fight in the UFC. My first fight was Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
obviously, right? And I took that L, I took that loss. But I just told, and again, it's all mental in this game. So
Hmm.
my thing was in that second fight, because I didn't know, because I felt like if I lost this one, and then that's what they was playing on, because Empa Kasaganai, he was undefeated at the time, so they was already having me right off to lose and everything of that nature. So I
Yeah.
said, "F it, man. I'm just gonna go out there, have fun, man, and just do my best." Literally, that's
Hmm.
what I told myself before the fight. And once we went out there, it was an amazing fight, you know what I'm saying, between me and him,
Yeah.
but I really do believe I was winning the whole time. It
Hmm.
wasn't just like, just a knockout that just tend to happen just because, in the middle of a fight. I think I was winning all the way, you know what I'm saying, to that point. And once he, caught my kicks a couple of times, I was able to see that. But once I got the knockout and I seen him go flat, I was excited. I was like, you know what I mean? That was like, bro, you finna go viral. I was like, what you talking about? He's like, nah, nigga, you don't understand what you just did, bro. You finna go viral. And before I knew it, man, my phone was blowing up with new followers and everything of that nature. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing, man. But I feel like right there, it's in the past, but I don't live up to those moments anymore, man. I look to create newer moments because we
Yeah.
plan on blowing up again, man, right after we beat Wonderboy. Yeah,
Hell yeah. I wish you the best of luck. I know you're a very busy man. You got a lot to do. So I want to let you go,
appreciate
but
it.
I want to thank you so much for doing this interview with me. And I wish you the best of luck at your fight.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Let's get it,
Yeah.
man. Smoking MMA, right?
Yes, sir. Let's get it,
Let's
man.
go. All right.